All right, what's up, everyone? Today we're going to take a look at our copper and oil intermarket analysis chart. Now, we've got copper futures on top, oil futures on the bottom. These two move very similar to each other, but they oftentimes can be traded by different types of investors, right? Copper is known as Dr. Copper. You have oil futures. A lot of people are always, very concerned about a massive oil spike causing a recession. And we'll break down how I like to use this chart in today's video. Now, investors and traders, they both use this chart to analyze the relationship between copper and oil prices. Both commodities are key economic indicators. Copper is often referred to as Dr. Copper due to its widespread use in industrial applications, and oil is a critical energy commodity. By comparing the performance of these two future contracts, traders can gain insights into global economic trends and industrial demand. So the price in both charts moves similarly, indicating a strong correlation between copper and oil prices. Now, you can also use this as a little bit of a lagging indicator because oil has often lagged behind copper only to catch up later. This pattern suggests that movements in copper prices can sometimes serve as a leading indicator for future movements in oil prices. Now, that's based off of this current chart that we're looking at, which is going to be a weekly time frame. All right, going back about 10 years or so. And when we say it's a lagging, right? Oil is lagging a little bit. What we mean here is, we see a bottom here in copper, and then shortly afterwards, we see a bottom in oil, right? And then what do we see? Well, we see a top here in copper, and then shortly afterwards, we see a top in oil, right? And then over here, you see a bottom again. You see a bottom shortly afterwards in oil, right around the same time. This was largely due to the pandemic. And then, what do you see over here, right? You see copper just booming, 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 making new highs. Tops out over here. Oil comes down and tops out over here, again, lagging a little bit behind. And what have we seen most recently? Copper has just gone absolutely ballistic. I mean, this is a very intense and very powerful move that we've seen here in copper. And oil has just not even broken out past its previous highs, right? It's still making a high, lower high, and a lower high, whereas copper was making a high, lower high, broke out, and is now making a new all-time high here. So, or new high here in copper. So, this is just something really interesting to pay attention to. Sometimes this can give you some insight into inflation, right? If you're someone watching oil and copper and you're seeing both of them going up, generally copper and oil going up, would kind of indicate a little bit of a strong economy. But if you're worried about inflation, copper price is going higher. So now does this mean that all of the industrial stocks manufacturing, a lot of things with copper are using copper into their materials? Are they going to start charging higher prices and cause inflation to rise? If oil prices are rising, right, is that going to translate into gasoline prices going higher and transportation costs going higher? Because at the end of the day, unless it's software, most products are, transported, right? They have to go from point A to point B. And if transportation costs are going higher, then oftentimes you're going to see that reflected in the price of the product or the price of the service being offered. So this is one way that I really like to do some intermarket analysis and just, keep an eye on what's going on right now, right? Can I find an edge in here? Can copper futures potentially be a signal for oil futures? We've seen where oil normally has lagged behind a little bit historically via this chart in the movements that copper's made, and copper's made a really impressive move here at the moment. So is this a little bit of a false signal to oil, or will this prior relationship continue to last where shortly afterwards we end up seeing the similar move that we see in copper futures in the oil futures? All right. So that's going to wrap up today's video. It's, another one of the chart layouts from the intermarket analysis chart layout package. There's different chart layout packages available, such as these going over different intermarket analysis. There's market breadth, market internals, many other different things that can really help give you an edge, right? Especially once you go through all of them, learn how to use them, then you'll really be able to dial down into, what areas of the market right now have some of the best setups, right? If you're a trader, you're always looking for, the new trade, right? And where is the next best trade? And, doing a lot of intermarket analysis can really give you an idea and perspective, and insight into the market. hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you did and you want to purchase any of these chart layout packages, don't forget the link is in the description down below.